Right, hello everybody. I actually posted a picture on Facebook group, and I'm not sure whether I put it on Instagram. I can't remember. These little dangles I made. The inspiration came off of Pinterest actually, and it was earrings. You know, and it's something I used to make a lot of until my eyesight failed. These are like a rougher version really, because I didn't want to sort of make them perfect because of, of my eyesight. I can't do that anymore, so I've gone for that sort of look. And they're not the easiest thing to make, and you've got to remember that I have all the tools, but people wanted to see a little tutorial, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I originally didn't think about doing it because I thought I've got like the ring thing that I do the circles with, which, okay, you most probably be able to use a bit of dowel, a bit of wood or something that's 1 inch shape that you can use. Yeah, so an inch punch, I use that one there for the papers. You can use any paper. I'm going to have a little go with tissue paper today, Tim Holtz tissue paper, and see what happens. But I cut the circles out, and then these ones have actually been burnt, but that's, I'm not going to show that because some work and some don't. I managed to salvage a few bits, which I thought they looked quite cool. And then putting a dangle on, which, just normal little dangle, so that sort of sits on top. You see that? Hold on a minute, let's turn that off. Better to see it on there. Oops, the wrong way around. And here. There we go. That's it. Okay. And the back is sort of like that, really. Not the neatest, but so I mean, they'll just sit on a bit of a journal, or I just thought it was something novel. And I've got loads of wire and loads of beads, so it's a way of using that, because it's just sitting there looking at me, and I thought, oh, do I sell it? And I think, oh no, I'll use it on different things. So I've sort of kept it, really. That was a bit of lace. I wasn't 100% sure about it, but I think it's okay. It's just that it does look like plastic now, which, I didn't want it to look, really. But I might come up with something else with a bit of lace. And yeah, they're all sort of like very rugged, very earthy. But I used, what did I use? Just bits of, oh god, ephemera, really. This is original ephemera, a bit of ledger paper, and I inked it up and then stained it up. Okay, you can do that with any of your printables. Just print a bit out and work on it. Add some big stains and things. Okay, and inked it up with that vintage photo. That was all. I've got other ones I've printed. I've got, well, that's an original piece of handwriting. But I've also got printed ones. Well, I don't know where I put it. Oh yeah, okay. Just shrunk some ledger paper or ledger things down and inked it up, and that's all you do, really. And then use the punch somewhere that you think might look nice. Now, right, I'll show you the ripped one. So I'm gonna go like that. Okay, this is without burning, and then leave a bit of a gap like that in there. Then ink up, and then I'll put black on that bit. I even tear it a little bit more. Try and make it look like I burnt it rather than burning, because I've set fire to some original ephemera and I was upset. Oops. Just do that so it looks a bit black. Okay, And what the embossing does is really intensify the colours, and they actually go quite that one's transparent now, or almost transparent. It's absolutely amazing. Love it. And they're so light. The wire I use is 1mm, yeah, gauge, 1mm, 1mm, okay, which is fairly malleable. All right, don't need too much brute force. This is a really heavy block. Had this for hammering. I tend to hammer them a bit, but I'm not. You might be able to get away without hammering, but I've got, you know, all the tools. Of course I have, because I've had them a long time. That's my little hammer. Okay, so, you know, sorry if you haven't got the tools, but if you have, you know, you might as well use them. Right. Okay, so we've punched out that. Okay, and so I punched out a few. There's like a few there, tissue paper and all sorts. Yeah. Now I'm going to move that out of the way. It's about 6 inches. Okay, I measure one and then I cut a few out. I've already done a few up, so. And I like copper wire, actually. I never used to work with it a lot before. It was either silver or gold, but I actually prefer copper. I find it more malleable, and when you warm it, it's quite bendy, which is great. And that's why I use a hammer, just to harden it a bit so that the shape stays. Okay, so I used Z. I found out that was about 1 inch. Okay, and I put that on there. So if you've got an inch dowel, would work. All right, now I don't want too much up this bit, so I shall carry on going round, sorry, until, all right, I got a little bit there because I don't need much for an eye, you know. So I go to about there, so it looks like that. Hope you can see. Okay, so I've got a longer bit one side and a shorter bit the other. Then I get sort of flat nose pliers there and just bend it up. Okay, I don't know. So it looks like a right angle. Okay, all right, and then you get the other piece of wire, holding that against what you're using. Okay, and you twist that wire around. Yeah, so I've already gone around once. Okay, and then you go around. I usually do it twice so that it looks like two sides, both sides have got 2 on. Yeah, now if that's uneven, okay, which that's a little bit uneven, yeah, and a little bit separated, I take it off. Okay, and then I'll get my flat nose pliers and I'll just sort of squash it down. And that one's okay, that side. Yeah, so that looks a little bit neater. Okay, right, and what I do now, leave that one up there. I get this bit here, and it's a little tiny bit long. To make it easier on yourself, it needs to be about the same length as your circle, so you can wrap it around. That's a little bit long. Okay, and then so you can easily wrap that. I mean, you don't have to wrap it. If you want to, you can cut that off. I actually quite like the wrap look. You don't have to be perfect here because you can always cut off after. Okay, so I do that. And then I will cut a bit off that. Okay, and because I hammer it, I don't need to do this really. But you need to tuck that in a little bit so it doesn't hurt or catch. Yeah, so we're left with that. Sometimes you need to put it back on because you've bent it a bit too much, or so you just put it back on what you were doing, and so just manipulate it a little bit. Yeah. Now here, I tend to just do that and then cut the end off to make my loop, because I'm so used to it. I know how long to do it because I used to make so much. But I think it's about 1/2 inch, so let's cut it and then we'll see. Right, because I actually no idea. Yeah, look at that. It's 1/2 inch. Okay, so you're left with that. Yeah, and all you do now is you get your round nose pliers. Like so. And then you can either come forward or backwards. It's up to you, what you feel more comfortable doing. I tend to go away from myself, and it looks a bit odd, okay, like that, until you've put your round nose pliers back in and just straighten up, yeah. And now if you look, it's opened up a bit, but that's okay. You go back in and you just close that end up like that, okay. Then I get hold of it like that and I twist it because I want it like that. Okay, and that is it. That's the first bit done, right? As for hammering, like I say, it might be all right. It's just that it's not that, you know, maybe I'd have flattened it enough. You just got to stick into the embossing powder. So, right, and I just give it a little tap, not much, because once you start hammering metal, it becomes quite brittle, harder but brittle. So you have to bear with me with the noise. See that I'm flattening that, you see, and watch your fingers. You can actually flatten all of that if you wanted. Let's have a look. Just gently. Okay, just a little bit there. Okay, and now it's flat. Yeah, I'm not sure about that bit. I need to just take that off a little bit. I mean, this happens, you just go in and just take it off. Okay, like that, and it's a little tiny bit wonky. So just get it in like that. There we go. All right. That part is done. Now for the next part. Yeah, so I've got quite a few I've just gone ahead and done. Yeah. All right. Some of these were, oh, that was silver. Because I've got a lot of gold and silver. I've done them up onto, just put some patina alcohol inks on, just to take the gold away. I thought, well, I'm still going to use it. I've got to find a way to stop it looking nice and shiny. Right, so we've got these, so I need to go and get my embossing powder now. I'm going to put those away. A minute. Right, so organised everything. I did do one just to make sure that I had everything around me, so I didn't have to get up and get stuff. So needed Versamark, okay, and use a bit of this tissue paper. So all I do, oh, a little heat mat. I've got a massive one, but it's filthy, so I'm using my little one. So I just do that, yeah. And then I have the embossing powder. Yeah, can't find my plastic thing that I usually put this in there. Okay, and it doesn't matter if it goes on the back or anything, because it just doesn't matter for this. There we go. And then you need a pair of tweezers and your heat gun. I like the Ranger one for quietness when I'm doing this, but it's not very good for me at the moment. It's not working brilliantly, actually. I will say I haven't had it that long. I haven't even had it a year, but it keeps sort of like getting really hot and cutting out and making most peculiar noises. So right, so yeah, so I dip that in, okay, and I've just gone in too much there, so I just literally try and catch the end if I can, hopefully like that. Okay, and then the heat gun. Right, I've learned to do this one-handed to turn it around, and you need to get it a little bit warm before you actually put it on, because especially with this one, because this one's quite fierce, whereas the Ranger one is more directional and it is better. Okay, but like I say, it keeps cutting out, so overused it, I think. So you just get it going a bit. You need a few layers because you need something for the wire to sit in, so just gonna push that in there a minute. Okay, it's about 3, I think. Right, I've dropped it, so if that happens and it cools down, you think, oh, now what do I do? Okay, you can reheat again, or you can put some more Versamark on, yeah? That's gonna just cool down too quick. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to reheat and then put back into the embossing powder. She keeps dropping off these. I think I've messed the actual tweezers up. There you go. It's still hot, so watch your fingers, folks. Okay. Right, now I'm leaving it on there, okay? And I'm just going to put a little bit more on, just a bit, sprinkle. This is where you can sprinkle other things in it if you wanted to. So you get your wire ready. Okay, make sure everything's going the right way. Is that right? Okay, now I just put it on like that. Okay, and then I heat up again. All right, and then I get something heavy, and I'm gonna press down. All right, but if there's not quite enough embossing powder, you can again sprinkle a bit in there once it's hot. Sprinkling in a little bit more, yeah, so I can get it attached to the wire. I think we're all right. This bit you have to do quite quickly, I will say. I haven't got a lot of time. And then miss the top bit, and then squish down. That was still all right. Okay, squish down. Okay, now you have to let that totally, completely dry. Cool down, not dry. Oh, you didn't have to make a mess doing this, though, don't you? It gets everywhere, doesn't it? Oh, I used ultra thick embossing powder, clear one for this. But I have got some of the, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. Oh, like the honey one. Tracy sent it me just to try and see if I liked it before I ordered some. And oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I love it. But I thought for this, I'll just use this one today. Okay, and then you peel that off. Oh, it's totally transparent. That is amazing. It's upside down though. Yeah, it is. Oh well. Never mind. So anyway, see, totally. And what you do, you just cut around these. But I don't like doing this normally until it's really cold. But I love the tissue paper, by the way. Oh, and I didn't know whether you knew, sometimes a lot of punches don't like cutting circles out of tissue paper because it's so fine. Just sort of put a piece of paper through with it and then it'll cut. Again, if it comes off now or anything like that, you reheat and just stick it back on again. You know, it's okay. It's not ruined. But I have an upside down one. Okay. Now I sometimes will file that as well. But I don't. Oh, it's all right now, I think. Okay. Good old emery board again. A little bit more needs to be trimmed off, but in there. Okay, that's totally transparent now. Yeah, I will do another one. I'll do one that's not tissue paper, but I love the tissue paper. It's great if it was around the right way. Right, that's that one. Right, get another one ready. And this, I want to do one more of the tissue paper because that was really nice. Because I've done loads of the other. So, okay, let's do one more of those. And then we'll do one of these. Oh, I'll do one with a little bit of burnt thing. There you go. A faux burnt. Okay. Right. There's some mark. As you can, if you've got a melt pot, you can salvage all those bits and put it in that. Okay, into the embossing powder. Stays, because I've got a new one, it stays wet for a while, so. Got a cascade going on here. There we go. Right, let's see if I can see it, if it's around the right way. I'm actually not sure at all. That's the trouble with that. So I'm going to heat it up again in a minute. I think it might be around the wrong way. Okay. looks like it's that way. On the, about 30 seconds, I reckon. Feels like forever. And wait for it to cool down. It's absolutely amazing. Right, so I'm going to cut that out after you saw me do that. So let's get another one. And I'm going to do this half one here. They're so addictive once you start. They really are. Let's do this one. Be able to see that one better. Okay. Okay. Yeah, use an old pair of these. But you can file it off. But you want it. Okay. And like I said, just heat up a little bit more. Okay, so once it's cooled down, okay, it's still a bit warm. Okay, but you can just peel this off. You can leave these all jagged, and you can do these bits of paper and not do it with a circle, rip it. It could look, you know, very interesting. Okay. And there we go. Okay, again, quite transparent, you know, well, not totally, but semi-transparent, and it's absolutely brilliant. Love them. And it's good. And you can take this bit of off of here as well if you want, but I actually don't mind that. Just got to be careful. Again, if it comes away from the wire, just heat it up again. Okay. Absolutely lightweight. You wouldn't know that's in your hand. Okay, well, I'll finish the others off. And, oh, I was going to show you those, how to do the end bit, to put the dangle on, that's all. Let's have a look. So I do have a melt pot. I don't do a lot with it, actually, but I'm going to shove all that in there. I'm not going to waste it. It was a recent purchase. I've wanted one for a very long time, and sort of like once I got it, I thought, oh, what do I do with it now? So I've got to have some fun playing, really, which I seem to have done that all week, actually. I haven't done many videos at all this week, so you have to excuse me for that, but I've been busy playing, so all will come to light eventually. Right. Oh, I'll just show you how I wrap my beads, because I do it a little bit different. Okay, I usually start with a seed bead or something smaller. Actually, I think I'm going to do that. No, I'm going to start with a small one. Oh, there we go, black one. So I'll put 2 on, I think. I have shown this before, but I only want a small one. And again, I leave mine, I don't cut it off, okay, because I wrap it. Yeah, so I go down to the bottom there, go away from me, rotate the wrist, okay, so they're pointing upwards, and then I come back, yeah, well, a bit straighter than that normally, and then I rotate. You can take them out and then put them back in, okay, like that, and then you start to wrap. Oh, these are quite stiff, actually, up to what the copper I've been using. Right, so I just go around once, because these aren't very long, so, and then I'll just go in there, and then I'll straighten up a little bit more, okay, and I'll cut that end off, like that. Then I will use these, and I'll squish that bit down in there, okay, so nothing sharp sticking up. There we go. So that's how I do my little wrapped ones. So I'll do it one more time. Okay. This one's a bit bent. Right, let's give it a bit all warm. I think I'm going to go the other way. So big one at the bottom. Sometimes you'll need a little seed bead there though, all right, because depending how big those are, these aren't too bad. Some are tiny, so you need a little seed bead. So I'm going that way. Okay. I go right down to the bottom, touching the bead. Okay. Away. Turn. If I had hold of it, and towards you, then, okay, and then you wrap around, yeah, come up too high really, and then around the bead at the top. It's very hard to show on camera, and visibility in my side. Okay, if it's a bit longer wire, sometimes you can, 3 beads is nice because you can go over 2. It's just a matter of playing. So cut that off, and I haven't got any. I used to have some little tiny little jewelry cutters, and they were so good, but they are totally blunt now, so I won't get another pair. And then give that a bit of a squish. Okay. And there we have a little dangle with a wrapped little bead at the top. Just adds a little tiny bit of interest. Okay, then I've got one already open, so I'm going to use that. I'll put that on. What else do we want? So look, that's not gonna lie right. Okay, just gonna put one of them on. Lovely. That's an odd number, looks good. You can actually drop another ring on if you want, or you can literally keep it like that. It's up to you, but I'm going to put one on anyway. Just drop a ring on. And I'll close that. And again, if it's gone away from you, you come forward. I tend to get in the habit of always going away first. And then I know if they're which way to shut them. See, and this is where my eyesight is bad. I usually have to use a magnifying glass. That's okay. There you have your little dangle. Okay, that's totally unique. Right, okay, well that's it. So I hope you got something from that. Okay, like I said, I had people asking me, and it's not, you know, not the easiest thing, and it's not for everybody. So, but I thought I would do it. So it's all done now, and on to the next project. Okay, I'll see you all soon, and take care, everybody. Bye.